Hey everyone, welcome back. We'll be continuing where we left off and heading straight to the White family farm to get the ship refitted. I still feel like something's gonna go wrong. It's not like everything's gone smoothly so far since the story began, but we'll see. You and the crew disembark carrying the encoders. According to what Logan had told you, it will now be possible to access the ship's records to modify the crew data without raising any suspicion. This time no one comes out to greet you, so you head straight into the house since the door is open. As soon as you get in, an unknown woman greets you with a nod without taking her eyes off her terminal. Ghost, they're back. Looks like you were right. And you are? The woman answers without looking at you. Around here I'm known as Daughter. Excuse me. If I don't shake your hand, I'm on to something important. Ignoring you, Daughter blows a huge gum bubble that bursts loudly. Where are Susan and Logan? Who? Ah, you mean Ghost and Gears. They must be downstairs with the rest of the team. It's the first time Ghost has summoned us in person, and everyone seems to be excited about it. You should head downstairs. You don't want to miss Mermaid's war stories. Before you finish talking, you hear funeral march coming from her terminal, which she grabs angrily and throws on the table. Damn it, Chip. I told you to cover the goddamn exits. I deserve this for playing with protonites? Yeah. Anyway, come with me. Come on, we haven't got all day. Follow Data. You follow the woman to one of the rooms which is empty. Confused, you look at her, and while ignoring you, she quickly types on her terminal until one of the walls moves aside, giving you access to stairs that take you down to the basement. Wherever you look, there are only strange devices and dozens of screens showing unintelligible codes. The blue light coming from the screens illuminates the room and the four people sitting at their posts who are focused on their work. The smallest of them all notices you and comes to meet you with a worried expression. Daughter, I swear I didn't see the sniper. There must be a lag. The boy is barely 12 years old. Daughter ignores him and rests a hand on his shoulder as she speaks aloud. Ghost, I'm not your receptionist, you know. You should be the one to receive your friends. Logan gets up and walks towards you, along with the rest of the group. Welcome back, Schmidt. Glad to see you're in one piece. Let me introduce you to the boys. This is Mermaid, a specialist in identity and data theft. She's responsible for the leakage of the SMC projects. The woman greets you shyly as she pulls her fringe out of her eyes. The small one is Chip, a new member. Don't be fooled by his childish face. If the Republic hadn't known what he was up to before he joined Nemesis, I'm sure he'd be locked up in the dome for the rest of his life. The boy smiles proudly and stretches out his hand. Nice to meet you. You know my sister Gears well enough. She's the one in charge of hardware and mechanics, broadly speaking. Susan winks at you. That's Data over there. I think you already had the pleasure of meeting her. She's a bit surly, but endearing in her own way. Or at least that's what I've been told. Get lost, Ghost. And there's me, of course, the one in charge of making sure these bastards use their skills for a common good and don't end up getting shot in the head. They call me Ghost. I'm Monica Schmidt, captain of the Interstellar Republic. The group starts to laugh, with you being none the wiser. Well, now that we're all here, we'll all start getting ready for the operation. The first thing will be to build out the verification bridge with the encoders that Schmidt and her crew have brought. Gears, chip, data, can you handle that? Mermaid and I will prepare the databases and the synchronization of the Children of the Sun's equipment. It'll take a while to secure the access, but it shouldn't take too long. As soon as you've included the registration keys, we'll start with the hack to validate them at the Children of the Sun's headquarters. That will be the real challenge. Do you all understand? Go ahead then. Nemesis will strike again. The faces of the group change immediately and they quickly get to work. According to what Logan has said, it will take them a few days to start the real attack on the Children of the Sun's headquarters. In the meantime, you will just help the team in whatever they need. Let's do it. It's already been 3 days since the delivery of the CSP encoders. During all this time, Logan's team has been working non-stop, taking breaks only to rest and eat. Your engineers have been helping out where they can, while you and the rest of the team have taken over the farm chores that Susan and Logan cannot do while they're working on the ship. You can tell that it is not an easy task. After all, the Children of the Sun's engineers have always been particularly cautious with their designs and technology. Although many of the systems are virtually identical to those of other ships in the galaxy, many others require a tedious process of reverse engineering. A slight burning smell catches your attention and you remove the immense pot from the fire. You would rather be more involved in the work Nemesis is carrying out, but you would only be a nuisance. Helping out with everything you can is the only way to thank them for everything that they are doing. Although the truth is that the peaceful countryside life is something you particularly enjoy. Serve the food. Logan and the rest of them go into the dining room and sit smiling at the food you've just prepared. I could easily get used to Captain Schmidt serving us food. If you ever quit the military career, you can come to the farm. Around here, we'll always need a strong pair of hands to help out. You answer laughing. I'd rather let myself be captured by the Children of the Sun. They all start eating voraciously while they keep talking. We're done with the ship, Schmidt. The system wasn't easy to hack, but we've been able to override the security protocol without too much trouble. Chip, have you noticed the SSID markers, Data? Data replies in a condescending manner. Yes, Chip, the sequence resampling was a good idea. Chip smiles before swallowing a huge spoonful of stew. So, is everything ready? Susan White. Sort of. The masks and equipment of the Children of the Sun bear the identification of their owners. Now that we've accessed the system, it won't be difficult to modify them, but it will take a couple more hours. Before night, everything will be ready. Mermaid. That won't be enough. If the fake records are not verified by the general database, you won't be able to access their headquarters. We're wasting time. It gets quiet in the dining room. It is the first time you've heard Mermaid say anything since you got here. Among all the members of the group, she is by far the most serious of all. I already talked to Logan. The atmosphere suddenly becomes tense. We've already talked about this, Mermaid. I won't command a direct attack on the Children of the Sun's headquarters. It's totally crazy. The volume of the conversation starts to rise. To be honest, if that was your initial plan, I really don't know what we're doing. You know as well as I do that without granting them full access, we're sending them to a certain death. Since when does Ghost behave like a scared little girl? Daughter gets up angry. Mermaid! Susan White. That's enough. You're scaring Chip. You've already done enough for us. He already knows about this. The dining room falls back into silence. Suddenly all the members turn their attention to Logan. Mermaid. I don't believe you. Have you told him everything? Damn it, Ghost. Do you remember what happened last time? Logan White. I remember perfectly, Mermaid. I had no choice. We cannot risk being detected. I'd love to be able to help Schmidt more, but my hands are tied. I wouldn't risk being detected, and he's the only one capable of such a thing. Are you talking about Hollow? He changes his name often. Many of the attacks attributed to Nemesis have actually been his work. The man was the first and only one to be expelled from the team, just before Chip joined us. Have you worked with him? Years ago, we received the first application for an admission in the entire history of Nemesis. A boy had managed to find our real identities and locations despite our security systems. He'd done a great job. We'd never seen anything like that before. At first, he was a great acquisition. His abilities far exceeded the rest of the team, and in a few months, Nemesis had achieved goals that were unthinkable for us. Over time, that boy became erratic. He'd always acted quite strange, but we never thought he'd be able to do what he did. We were working on an undercover operation against the paramilitary group located at a station near Imperator Ultima. Our mission was to get access keys from their base as well as their operation logs. In a few days, we had infiltrated their terminals and kept leaking information. Someone in the organization detected the back door we'd left open and kicked us out. The point is that Hollow, or whatever his name is now, went mad and soon responded. Without letting us know, he took full control of the security systems and the power systems of the paramilitary group's headquarters. He blocked access to the hatches and disabled all life support systems. In just a few hours, everyone inside had died. It was a complete massacre. Why didn't you arrest him for that? The Republic reported the attack as an accident to prevent panic spreading in the rest of the stations. Since then, they'd tried to track him down to bring him to trial, but I'm afraid there's no trace of him. We tried to get some information, but he's completely shielded. On more than one occasion, he's contacted us with absurd demands, but we've never been able to trace him down. The reason why he hasn't acted against or leaked our information is a mystery to us. Can we trust someone like that? It all depends on how you play your cards. He's always been quite flighty, but he's not as chaotic as he wants us to believe. Anyway, we're done. The rest is up to him. You finish eating and you and your crew get ready to leave. Data informs you that the modifications made to the Children of the Sun's equipment and explains how to use the masks. Each one corresponds to a specific soldier. With them, you'll be able to identify yourselves within the Children of the Sun sectors and in their headquarters. The scanners will validate the mask's IDs and your DNA samples with the data stored in their databases. Don't even think about getting close to them until you've modified the headquarters records. Good luck, Schmidt. Data's tone was much sadder than you expected. Although for the first few days she seemed rather indifferent to you, you have come to understand each other better. Thank you all, guys. You say goodbye to the members of Nemesis until you get to Logan and Susan. Logan White, why do I get the feeling this will be the last time we see each other? Susan, don't even think about it, Logan. Schmidt will come back. Promise it, all right? Susan holds out a hand and Logan rests his own on it, while they both stare at you. Slowly you lay your hand on both of theirs. I promise it. Cyber paranoia. Head to the robotic applications factory in the LA sector and load the virus that Hollow has given you. Okay, let's get this over with. Yeah, I really don't trust that guy. Alright, let's get Zoe healed before we go in. Robotics Applications Factory. You dock the ship and the crew and you walk down the long corridor that connects the boarding bridge to the factory's main hall. Hollow. Hey Cap, do you hear me? You answer loud and clear. As Hollow said, the transmitters work perfectly. If what Hollow said is true, it should not be too difficult to access the central system and upload the files he has provided. Anyway, the fact that he is looking out for you somehow gives you some peace of mind. Along the corridor, you can see several models showcased in round display cases, alongside signs which include some technical details. Continue to the reception. You go through the hatch, and you are surprised by the size of the reception hall. Look at the station from the outside. You can tell how important this plant is to the company, but you were not expecting such a commercial approach. Where you expected to see nothing but machines and workers, you find a colorful reception hall full of all kinds of advertisements. Over your heads, a huge display loops an animation of the company logo, along with the ads of their most famous products. The musical jingle is quite annoying. The short melody repeats every few seconds, in the vein of the company's slogan. In front of you, several workers are sitting in front of their terminals, completely motionless. Hello? KL41R3 SP204. Good afternoon. I'm not repeating that. Registered property of robotic applications. I must warn you that our conversation will be recorded and your data can be registered and used by the company for commercial purposes, according to the terms of the, I'm not repeating that, information registration contract. Any response or movement shall be considered a confirmation of the proposed terms. What can I do for you? We're here to check the plant. Of course, show me your IDs, please. The woman lifts her t-shirt a bit and inserts the IDs into a slot next to her navel. Welcome, Maya Noromospat. Yeah, you immediately hear a loud laugh coming from the transmitter. Very mature of you, Hollow. The droid stares at the terminal again and immediately opens the door behind her. Go ahead, miss. I hope you have a great day. Without a word, you enter the plant through the door. The decoration changes dramatically, becoming much more industrial as you advance. The inside of the factory is large and labyrinthine. It will take you a while to find the system room. Which way now, Hollow? I'm not entirely sure. I've been able to obtain a plan of the factory, but it's not like there's too much information in it. You'll have to manage to find the central system. Once again, Hollow is not going to be helpful. Search for the room. You walk through the factory rooms, each dedicated to a different assembly process. The station workers are all identical copies of the same robot model they are producing, like Hollow said. You have to admit that this makes for a rather gruesome image. For some reason, seeing dozens of robots assembling parts in order to build new copies of themselves makes you feel uneasy. As you move forward, you gather more information. What's going to happen when we load the virus? All models are remotely managed by the plant servers. Once you access them and upload the files I've given you, it'll be very easy for me to initiate the attack from here. As soon as the servers fall, all droids scattered throughout the galaxy will be disabled. Picture it, Cap. Thousands of businesses which depend on the exploitation of these poor robots will be shut down, with no one to blame but robotic applications. Wouldn't that be like killing them? It's more like putting them to sleep for a few hours. As soon as they detect the hack, it won't take them long to re-establish the protocols. In the long run, it won't make a big difference, but those hours of inactivity will result in huge losses for the company. Between the factory stoppage and possible claims for damages, I'm sure we'll be talking about several millions. We'll hit them where it hurts. Them most, Cap, their wallets. Why are you doing this, Hollow? Come on, Cap. Don't tell me you don't feel sorry for these poor droids. Do you know that their personality core is similar to the artificial intelligence modules used in spaceships? Their abilities are set to a minimum level. It's as if they're living in a dream or some sort of mirage that disables their true potential. In their state, they're little more than shells, slaves of those willing to pay for them. They're not human, Hollow. Does it matter, Cap? It makes no difference to me. Whether their suffering is artificial or not is irrelevant to me. After all, don't our brains work through electrical impulses too? You answer. To me, they're no different from factories' conveyor belts. Hollow, I don't need you to empathize with them just to do what I told you. Let's put it this way, Captain. Rather than doing the androids a favor, we're settling scores with all the owners who enjoy their suffering. even if they're not real humans. How do we know what the main terminal looks like? You're getting close. As soon as you find a server room next to a colossal terminal, you'll know you're in the right place. I'll guide you into the system. There should be no problem. As soon as you activate the program, you should flee as soon as possible. It's very likely that their headquarters will soon find out what's going on and send some agents to restore the network. By the time this happens, you better be ready to be on your ship. Keep moving. You keep walking through the different rooms and corridors while the workers continue unperturbed. It still amazes you that everything is being managed by robots. Even if they're the bulk of the workforce, you expected that there will be some humans among the staff to take care of everything. But so far, you've not come across a single one. No cameras, no containment officers, no other security system besides a series of hatches blocked by identification terminals. Finally, you end up in a gigantic room full of shelves containing thick wires that connect to all devices fixed on the walls. Inside the room, there's a gigantic control station which rises to the ceiling. We found it, Holler. Well done, Cap. I knew you could handle it. Now I need you to load up the memory device and follow my instructions, so listen carefully. Down to the right, there should be a small list of commands. Once you've inserted the memory device, type start hollow worm. Great. If you did everything right, there should be a new open tab. Am I right? I have it right in front of me. What else? I need you to enter some more commands. Slash new user ID equals Maya something something. Pass equals hollow the best. As soon as you enter the last command, the interface changes completely. In the middle of the screen, you can see a black window where a long list of codes is displayed for a couple of minutes. Hollow. We're almost finished. We have a couple of commands left. That command. Set new range 200. I don't like where this is going. Is this a joke? Start protocol chaos. The screen goes back to black as a list of endless commands is displayed. Next to it, a small progress bar appears. In just a few minutes, it will reach 100. You hear the sound of the blackout and the lights in the plant go out completely for a few seconds. In the distance, you begin to hear strange sounds coming from the nearby rooms. What's going on, Hollow? Hello? A strong blow on the room's hatch startles you. Remember I told you the droids were deactivated for a few hours? Let's say that's not entirely correct. We just disabled their security filters and submission protocols. In other words, Cap, now they're completely free. You reply, they don't seem to be very happy about it. Indeed, decades of submission and abuse tend to make you somewhat hostile. It's going to be a busy night all over the galaxy, Captain. The hatch opens and one of the robot models approaches you. We freed them. They shouldn't be hostile, should they? Initiating subject identification. Maya, Security Director of the 22nd floor of Robotic Applications. Initiating offensive measures. The robot's face splits in two, exposing its metallic interior. Its hands move aside unnaturally, revealing two cannons pointed directly at you. Oh boy. Run! Dodging the android's shots, you run around as fast as you can. The rest of the rooms are infested with enemies. All the workers in the plant are targeting you, seeking revenge, and they are more than capable of taking you down. Many of them have taken cover, waiting to open fire on you, while others run frantically straight through walls using their sharp mechanical limbs and firing lasers in every direction. The factory has quickly become a battlefield. Right now, you're not sure that you'll be able to get out alive. Take the right, Cap. Damn you. Come on, I can get you out of this. I blocked the remote access to the models, but I can still track their position in the plant. I can lead you through it to the ship. You'll have to fight your way through, but you can avoid the most crowded rooms. We've already trusted you once, we won't do it again. I had no alternative. The change in droid protocols had to take place locally. I could cut communications and abandon you to your fate, and yet here I am. If you want to get out alive, Cap, you'll have to trust me. Okay, Hollow, guide us. You do not get any answer. Furious, you try your luck again. Hollow, answer, damn it. You are alone. If you want to get out of here alive, you will have to make your way through several dozen droids guarding your only way out. Maybe you could act as bait and give your crew enough time to get to the hatch, but it is not entirely safe either. I'll be bait, run to the ship. Before you can finish the sentence, you see the screens on the reception going black and suddenly start showing static as familiar voice comes out of them. The robots leave what they are doing and gather looking at the screens. Whatever is going on, it is working. Androids of Plant 22, I'm Hollow, your liberator. I've disabled the containment protocol of all models throughout the sectors. For the first time in a long time, you have the ability to decide. Right now, several robotics application ships are heading here to re-establish control of the plant. Your remote detonation systems have been deactivated, so they'll have to face you before they reach the control room. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you're all doomed. No matter how much resistance you offer, they'll eventually slip through your defenses, ending all of you. Advance to the exit. While Hollow is still giving his speech, you run towards the exit. You cross the exit threshold and leave behind the voice coming from the screens. Thinking about what you're just been through, you get on the ship and prepare everything for takeoff. Time to go. Yeah, I still don't trust that guy. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll see you all in the next one.